Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? So, Wuthering Waves finally did it. They are dropping a free 5-star weapon, and let's be honest, the reactions are all over the place. Some players are celebrating like they just won the gacha lottery, while others are on the verge of a meltdown, demanding justice for their neglected DPS mains. Meanwhile, I'm here sipping my tea, wondering if Kuro Games is actually 5 steps ahead of us, orchestrating the most elaborate bait and switch in gacha history. Could this weapon be an underappreciated stroke of brilliance, or are we all just unwitting pawns in their grand Aero Rover experiment? First, let's break down the stats because nothing sparks heated debates quite like raw numbers. The Bloodpact's pledge boasts a base attack of 587, which is decent if unremarkable. However, the real standout here is its 38.8% energy recharge. At first glance, that might seem like a solid bonus. After all, free ER is never a bad thing, right? But then reality sets in. You start comparing it to 4-star alternatives like the Overture, which smugly flaunts its 51.8% energy recharge. Suddenly, that free ER doesn't feel like much of a bonus at all. It feels more like a calculated tease, just enough to make you want more but never quite enough to satisfy. It's the gacha equivalent of a free sampler that leaves you craving for the full product. And then there's the passive. It increases resonance scale damage when providing healing. It also buffs the damage of nearby Aero Resonators, meaning Jian, Jianshin, and possibly Chiakona, or even Kartitia, when those two finally land. On paper, this sounds decent, encouraging aero-centric comps and reinforcing the viability of a team-oriented playstyle. But when you look closer, the cracks starts to show. Only one unit benefits from this properly: Aero Rover. That's right, the free unit that Kuro Games refuses to give up on, despite still feeling like an ongoing science experiment in elemental conversions and synergy mechanics. Furthermore, only Aero element units can take advantage of this effect, clearly designed to enhance damage over time inflicted by the Aero erosion debuff. So, if you're playing Brant, you sighed and shook your head. If you're playing Changli, you probably chuckled. If you're playing Aero Rover, you either rolled your eyes or started coping. Now, here's where the conspiracy theory kicks in. Maybe Kuro Games knew exactly what they were doing. Maybe they wanted us to complain about how niche this is. Because if we complain, then we care. And if we care, then we will pull. Think about it. They hand us a free R5 5-star weapon, but with a catch. It's only for Aero Rover. And what happens next? Suddenly you're thinking, maybe I should actually invest in this guy. Next thing you know, you're eyeballing future Aero units, pulling for buffs, and doom-scrolling tier lists at 3 a.m. Coincidence? Or the work of a mastermind? You decide. But right now, Aero Rover is the lone Aero sword user. Unless those Kartitia rumors pan out. Well, at least this weapon is free. So while it might not shake the meta, it also won't shake our wallets. The good news is that Aero Rover is the first main character that I know of that is designed to be a support unit. His Liberation and Forte both have healing elements that scale off his attack stats, which means that he can also pack a punch for a healer. His kit isn't just about filling a role, it's about setting up a niche that Kuro Games seems determined to make relevant. Aero Rover is a testbed for Aero synergy, and this weapon, it's a key part of that equation. So, the real play here isn't just about making you use Aero Rover now. It's about laying the groundwork for future Aero-based strategies. The question is, will it be worth the investment? Now that we've established the niche appeal of Bloodpact's pledge, let's address the big question. Is this just another temporary curiosity, or will it have staying power in the meta? The biggest factor here is Aero Rover's future viability. Right now, the weapon is tailor-made for him, but Kuro Games has a habit of refining, reworking, and adjusting units over time. Aero Rover's kit could receive buffs or synergy changes that push him into a more dominant support role, and then suddenly, this sword becomes a top-tier option. Additionally, we have to consider future Aero units. If Kuro Games continues this trend of making Aero compositions stronger, Bloodpact's pledge could eventually become a core piece of certain team strategies. However, there's a counterpoint. Gacha games thrive on power creep. The chances that a better weapon with a more flexible passive gets introduced down the line are incredibly high. This means that even if Aero Rover becomes a staple, this sword might not be his best option forever. So, should you invest in it? If you're an Aero Rover believer, well, it's a no-brainer. It's free, it works well, and it'll likely stay viable for a good while. But if you're expecting it to be a long-term must-have piece of gear, history suggests that better options will eventually come along, making this more of a stepping stone than a final destination. At the end of the day, Bloodpact's pledge is, well, it exists. It's not a game changer, it's not a must pull, not that you can pull it anyway, and it's certainly not universal. Thankfully, it's absolutely undeniably free. It's got one job, supporting Aero Rover, and to its credit, it could do that job with almost suspicious efficiency. It also makes Aero Rover as a healer a vital part of Aero team compositions. Is this a gift from Kuro Games or an elaborate psychological experiment to see how far they can push the Aero Rover agenda before we all collectively snap? Whether Kuro Games missed a golden opportunity to provide a more universally viable weapon, or they meticulously crafted a move to push us deeper into Aero-centric meta team building, is something we will soon find out for ourselves. Alrighty, that's my take, but what do you guys think? Is Bloodpact's pledge an overlooked masterpiece or just an elaborate way to troll Aero Rover fans? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into gacha madness, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more hot takes, wild theories, and possibly unhinged rants. Thank you so much for watching, maraming salamat po, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!